Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for hosting us. So John and I hail from Arizona, and I originally grew up in Northern California in Silicon Valley, but we looked at the weather today. It's 100 degrees in Arizona right now. So John and I are very happy to be here for multiple reasons, but more than anything, to introduce you to OneClick Referral. So Dr. Patel is very modest. What he didn't tell you is he's considered to be one of the top oral surgeons in the United States. So you guys are very lucky to have him as a resource, as an advocate, as an educator, and to put together groups like this. This is a treat for us to be able to come and speak to you and talk about some new technology that he's implementing. And actually, in fact, we've implemented with many of your offices. So I think some of you can give some good references. In fact, your office managers and your team have already been talking about OneClick Referral and how amazing it is. I'll share some videos with the group later of your team talking about it. But what we're talking about today is about 10 years in the making, almost $2 million in investment. So it sounds like a really simple idea, but to make something super simple, it sometimes takes a lot of things on the back end to make it simple. So we were talking earlier about Bright Squid and some other products that have been around. I've been doing this, I've been speaking and building products to increase and better manage referrals for over 10 years now. And I've seen a lot of products come and go. In fact, some of your offices have implemented products like eDossier and didn't work for you. So what makes OneClick Referral so special is what we're going to talk about today. You're lucky to have Dr. Patel paying for this to implement this for you. So this is literally free for all of you. And my Vice President of Operations, John, Scott, and myself, we're experts at implementing this, training offices. We've trained the top oral surgeons in the United States on this technology. And without a doubt, it's been recognized as one of the leading referral products out there. It's fun for me to come to Virginia because my grandmother lived at the Rotunda Apartments in Tyson's Corners for 40 years. So I came here as a child, and it just got a nice, warm place in my heart, literally in my heart. This is actually, I had my mom take a picture of a button that my grandmother gave me about 30 years ago, 35 years ago. So this is a vintage button. Virginia is for lovers. So my grandfather is buried at Arlington Cemetery. He was a AAA fighter pilot in World War II. My parents got married in Arlington Cemetery, and my grandmother lived here for almost 40 plus years. So it's fun for us to be here. We love working with dentists. One of the moves that I created a couple of years ago is called I Love My Dentist. And I Love My Dentist, it's a word-of-mouth referral program. So it actually started out as a technology platform, but in fact it evolved into a movement in the dental industry. So if you see these t-shirts on the internet around the world, this is one of my trademark brands. And I truly do love dentists. I fell in love with dentistry 15 years ago when I started a teeth whitening company called Bright White. And Bright White taught me the positive effects. And I get choked up when I talk about this because the effect, the changing that I see in people's lives when they walk out of the dental office. Just a couple weeks ago, I walked into one of my general dentist offices, and there was this older gentleman walking out of the office, and he had this big smile on his face. He was so happy, right? And I walked back to, there's a dentist who's my dentist and also a friend, and I walked back to his office, and I see a picture of the guy on his desk, and I kind of asked him, gosh, that guy seemed really happy when he was walking out of your office a minute ago. And he proceeded to tell me the story of Joe. And I'll give you the short version of the story. But basically, Joe wanted to hand deliver this family card. He had just come back from a family reunion. And this was the first time in 8 years that Joe had smiled in this picture. And so he wanted to hand deliver this picture of him at his family reunion. It's one of those, we're in Arizona, so a lot of LDS. I mean, he had 25 grandchildren, literally numbered from 1 to 25 on their chest with all of his grandchildren, and a picture of him and his wife with a big smile on his face. And the reason why Joe wanted to hand deliver this card to this dentist was because he actually showed up for the referral. So this was the first time, he'd gone to the dentist many years, over and over, and he had I believe it was a missing number 7, and he wanted to hand deliver this card to this dentist because of the fact that Joe actually showed up for this referral and got the implant that he was prescribed. So it's stories like that drive me every day to work nights and to build this technology to make it easier. I know it's the same thing that drives you, and it's probably the reason why you got into the industry, is to change those lives and to affect more of those Joes in the world. So this technology that we're going to talk about today gets you more Joes. So, meeting with your teams over the last couple of days, and just through a lot of research over the years, and we've met with hundreds and hundreds of dental offices. One of the greatest frustrations for GPs is all that time-consuming work, tracking down x-rays, tracking down information once they've sent a referral over. It's often called the referral black hole, and you see it, right? I was one of them, right? And one of those people that took that piece of paper, put it in my junk drawer, and never showed up. Whether fear got in the way or it was cost, and you have great advocates like Care Credit who can help with the cost side of things. It's time consuming, right? Time consuming for your team, so oftentimes they'll just, put the piece of paper, they'll put a big circle around the form and hand it to the patient and hope they don't show up, because then they don't have to send the information over, right? We've seen a lot of different technologies. Some of your offices were complaining about the encrypted email programs that they've tried and failed over the years. So which is worse, the time consuming or the time wasted, both offices going back and forth? Or to me, it's about the patient experience. One of the reasons why I started I Love My Dentist and some of the different products that we've built 18 different software modules over the last 10 years, it's about the patient experience. And the beauty of OneClick Referral is that because we are Dentrix's #1 integration partner, we integrate with most of the general dentist practice management systems, all that information comes over to the specialist. So when the patient arrives, they don't have to fill out forms. There's nothing better than improving the communication, improving the relationship. And I know Dr. Patel, in talking to the general dentist, not only they all tell me what a nice guy you were, including your team, they also talked about how much he cares about the relationships with his general dentist. And that's what OneClick Referral is all about. And the same thing with the patient side as well. So what if you could send the specialist the complete patient information, saved a lot of time, and to you, time is money. And a lot of times, these are the large cases that you're sending over. So one of the important parts that we're seeing in the industry is there's a lot of pressure out there from people talking about trying to be the super dentist. And if you truly love your patient, and I've seen this with Dr. Patel and the GPs that he works with, if you truly love the patient, you want to get them the best care that you possibly can. And the best care that you possibly can comes from a specialist, and knowing when to refer over to the specialist. So save a lot of time. Your patient receives an instant notification, so it's beautiful. The patient walks right out of your office, they receive an instant notification. Seems like your office really knows what they're doing. We also teach a lot of best practices. We coach offices on the communication, the talk track. This button right here is a direct line in to literally the top oral surgeon in Virginia. He's given me this button to make it easy for you to get over to his office as quickly as you can to get the treatment that you just gave him, or that you just prescribed. So OneClick Referral, talk about the benefits just in kind of quick review. Saves a lot of time, makes communication between your offices a lot easier. You can better track those referrals, reduce the patient's need to fill out redundant forms, happier patient, and it's all done in the HIPAA compliant portal. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick little walkthrough, and then I'll give you just a quick demo, but it really just is as simple as clicking the button. The button is really just a physical representation of that referral slip that you guys are giving out today. So saves you some desk space, saves you some drawer space. You put the little button on the top of the desk, we plug it into your computer. The buttons will now be, they'll be branded for oral and oral surgery or for the practice management systems that you use. But the OneClick Referral opens up a window By the way, we also have a little tiny nano button that we've manufactured in China that will be coming out in a couple weeks, which will be something that you can plug into the side of a laptop and you hit the button and it has the same effect as the actual button. So it brings up the referral form. It's all fully customizable. So what we try and do is reduce as many steps and reduce as much waste in the referral process as we possibly can. So this form is literally customized specifically for Dr. Patel. So anyway, what you do is you click the button, you select the procedure, you can attach large files. So one of the issues that a lot of these systems have had in the past is the limitation of file size, but we fixed that. There's no limitation on the file size, so when you send the referral over, you can attach as large a file as you want.
Question on that.
Yeah.
Can you attach a CT?
You can. You can attach any type of
8
file.
gigabytes?
And, yep. Up to a terabyte. So I don't think you'll ever have a file that large, but yeah. Actually, I don't even know if it's limited to a terabyte, but we use the Box API, so if you're familiar with that, it's kind of like Dropbox, a secure Dropbox. So anyways, what you do is then you select the procedure, select the patient, and then you hit submit. So it's a very easy process, fast, easy, accurate, all the information comes over. His team doesn't have to do the double data entry. We're working on integrations with all the specialty practice management systems as well. But what happens is your team, if set up properly, receives a text message as well as an email. The specialist team receives a text message and an email. We also have a mobile app, so the referral, the PRCs, Jennifer from Dr. Patel, who's, by the way, my favorite PRC right now in the United States. I love Jennifer. We had a great day. She really cares about your teams. She receives a text message, an email, and it makes it really easy for her to just immediately reach out to that patient. We also verify the information about their insurance as well as it comes over. So we'll repeat that again because this is actually an enhancement that no other product has. We actually verify insurance. So the moment that patient in that transit, because we integrate with the practice management system, we bring over the basic insurance data. We have an API, we work directly with the insurance companies. We verify the insurance with the insurance companies. And that next moment when Jen or whoever the referral coordinator is on Dr. Patel's side, she knows exactly how much it's going to cost that patient within seconds of you sending that referral over. Normally I get an awe when I say that, but it's dark in here now. You guys, it's early. So from that perspective, obviously also the patient gets an email and a text message. And so imagine what that looks like. I mean, the amount of time that it'll save your team. They can start working on more strategic activities. So I know your insurance coordinator and I were having a talk about how much time this is going to save her. So that's it. So that's the product. That's the quick overview. I'll give you a quick demo so you can see it in real action. So literally, it's a physical button. You plug the button into a USB port, or what we also do is we have a Chrome browser extension, or we can put a bookmark on your computer where you don't have to have the actual physical button. So it's really just the same process. What the button does is it just makes it easy. So when a patient is sitting in front of your team and they don't want to struggle to open up a page, this button, all they do is they looking at the patient, they can click the button and still remain engaged with the patient about what you're sending them over for, continue to sell the treatment, and then it sends it over. So plug the button in, hit the button, it's got a nice little glow to it, brings up the who you're sending it from and who you're sending it to. So we built this product for large group practices. In fact, Smile Brands is one of our customers, 450 locations around the United States and growing at 25% this year. And you select who it's sending from. So in your case, with multiple doctor offices, we'll have both doctors listed, and you can select who you are. Your team will select who you are, and who you're sending it to. So this is built for multiple specialties. We don't just want to work with oral surgeons. We want to work with all the specialists. And we want your team to be trained on having only a single place that they go for sending all referrals. It really helps with adoption of the product. If you're not integrated to practice management systems, so again, we integrate with most of the GP systems. If we are integrated, it'll actually show in this window right above where it says Add Patient. It'll actually show a little window of the patients that are actually sitting in your office. So because of the integration we have, we actually pull your schedule in from your practice management system. So we know the patients that are sitting in your office right now based on your schedule, and those are the patients that show up at the top. We also have a search window where you can search for additional patients and enter their name and find them and select them. But when we're integrated, we bring over 52 fields of information on the patient, so they don't have to fill out those forms when they come to the specialist office. But if it's not integrated, all we require is first name and phone number. And for Dr. Patel, we added last name in as well, because they like to call their patients by their last name. So the other thing is visually representing what procedure you're sending over for. So we've worked with a lot of artists and user interface and UX designers to develop an interface that is as simple as possible. Then you can select the teeth, you can add notes, you can upload files, and that's it. So text goes to the specialist, letting them know the referral's been sent over. A text goes to the patient, keeping them engaged immediately in the process. We actually have a secure text message platform that will be available in July, where you'll actually be able to securely communicate with the patient back and forth just through the interface. I know a lot of the millennials at the front desk these days appreciate that. They don't want to pick up the phone. They want to be able to text their patients and do it in a secure manner. So then what we do is we immediately engage with that patient, or your team will, sending them a message back saying, hey, we're excited, we love referrals from Dr. Patel, he's the best. Would you prefer to be contacted via email, text, or phone? And then what we do is we have a really easy interface for the general dentist. Your team doesn't go into this, but this is where for the specialist. So the specialist has an easy interface to be able to then track where the patient is in process. So this is another big complaint working with hundreds of dental offices on referrals is they don't know where the patient is in the process. So they don't know when to reach back out to the patient and schedule the follow-up treatment. And so this actually allows you to do that. So we will immediately alert you when that patient has been scheduled at Dr. Patel's office, or if they've declined treatment, which is almost even more important, because you want to know when those referrals are not actually getting accepted by the patient. So again, we talked about insurance verification, so you'll get all the insurance details that'll go back and forth. Here's the secure chat text. So this will actually allow you to chat between your offices as well. So we have 3 forms of communication that come right into this single user interface. It's chatting with his office, it's texting with your patients or with his team, and then it's also messaging back and forth. So all the files and everything will be in what we call the conversation view here. So that's it as far as the demo. I was thinking about you guys this week because I was teaching my 6-year-old how to ride a bike, and I went out there every day with him. And first couple days, he was frustrated. He was crying. He didn't want to ride the bike anymore. He's like, Daddy, I can't do this. I can't do this. But by the 4th day of teaching him how to ride the bike, he was riding his bike around the block. And I was proud of him. Implementing new technology is the same thing. It's like riding a bike. Sometimes it's difficult. It's a change in process. It's something new for you and your teams. But I encourage you to stick with it, to continue to try. And the referral process is very similar to a bike. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of different components of it. Front wheel, back wheel, general dentist, specialist, patient. But we're here to help you. Dr. Patel is here to help you with his team as well. So you all can get on that bike and ride it well and implement OneClick Referral. So appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
So they're able to see the history of their referrals? They are. So I think that's a good kind of element that may not be as stressed. You can see an actual list of referrals being sent out, and not just paper black hole. Can you click it back, like implants integrated, ground time?
Yeah, so multiple different products, right? So we've had people that have overbuilt products. The whole point of OneClick Referral is to get that patient over to the specialist for treatment as fast as he possibly can. The moment it gets scheduled, that's where the product ends. So there may be other products that are developed along the way. We're continuing to build new products in. The communication can be handled in there. Obviously, you saw that back and forth communication. So they can chat back and forth. All that information, all the history, all the referral information is tracked in there. So communication that goes back and forth. If you want to communicate back and let them know where it is. Once we integrate with WinOMS, we'll actually be able to automatically pull that information in, because we do that for Dentrix and EagleSoft and Open Dental and some of the other systems, because we don't want to make it hard for his office either. We want to make it easy for all of you guys and for the patient. So, but all the information, everything's tracked, everything's time and date stamped for HIPAA compliance reasons, and yes, all the communication is stored in there. To answer your question.
Thank you. We had one referral yesterday. Our office got the notification. We called the patient. Patient was scheduled.
It was a great day yesterday. I went home, called my wife, and just was so happy. I mean, got a little choked up because she knows this is 10 years of my life savings, right? We had some great moments. April West was posting all over Facebook how much she loves OneClick Referral. So is Jennifer. And yeah, your team, let's see, Dr. Walsh and her team sent over a referral yesterday, and it just went perfectly, and it was nice, you know. So, yep.
So, thanks, Travis. And he'll be circulating to your offices. There's no cost. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. I think it's good to try. Good question.
Just because I haven't used it yet, does that information get stored in our software, in our patient files somewhere? Or is it just on that application or on the website?
So what do you use as your practice management system?
The software we use?
Yeah.
Open Dental.
Open Dental? Yeah, so with Open Dental, we're about a week away from finishing that integration. What information would you like to come back in?
No, just the documentation that the referral's been sent, so that we know when the patient comes back.
Yep.
Has the patient gone? Have you followed up? Have we,
How are you doing that today? What's the process today?
We have a space on the chart where we document, type in.
Yeah.
And then so when.
I'm asking that because I want to mirror that process for you, and that's what we do.
Right.
It's all configurable, so we
And
can build that for you.
We get reports from the specialists, and then we read the reports, and if the patient has acted on that referral, we make a note next to that referral note.
Yeah.
Or make the changes in the chart to know, what's been done or what hasn't been done. But, that's how we track what
Perfect.
that follow-up has been.
Yeah, so it'll all be in the system. Everything is tracked in there. You'll see it all. You'll get emails every time a new notification comes over. So a lot of the systems, Dentrix and Open Dental, is actually great about allowing us to write information back in. So likely it will have what you're asking for. Yeah, but
In the form, you don't know how that's gonna come.
it goes into typically in patient notes section. At least that's what it does in Dentrix. So all that information is tracked. Typically we'll put a link in so you can send it over to the system. But yeah.
And just to wrap up, so the common experience that my office has, the patient will show up, no referrals. They don't know why they're there. They're told by the dentist to come to me. We're trying to figure it out. We don't want to look disorganized. We don't want you guys to look disorganized. We're trying to do this secretly. Then I walk in, I try to